Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to this short yet powerful, energizing Hatha yoga practice, allowing yourself to stand onto your mat with a slight micro bend in the knees and rooting the feet into the earth, closing the eyes and coming into your space, bringing the hands to prayer to the heart center, perhaps setting an intention for your class today. Listening to the breath as it moves in and out of the body, and maybe rocking a little bit back and forth on the feet, really finding that space of groundedness, of safety, of foundation for your class today. And noticing the quality of the breath as it moves in and out of the body, perhaps just slightly manipulating it to slow it down. Bringing the hands up overhead to prayer, looking up to the sky and coming down into a forward fold. We're going to inhale, hands onto the shins, flat back. Exhale into plank, perhaps on the knees for our first round, and slowly guiding our belly to the earth. Inhale, open up the heart, the chest, and exhale, coming into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg to the sky, and exhale, root it through for a lunge. Perhaps the back knee is onto the earth for the first round. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, hands to the earth. Left foot back to meet the right. Inhale, right leg is lifted. Exhale, root it through. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, hands to the earth. Right foot back to meet the left. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, hop or walk your way back to the front, standing forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up overhead, hands to prayer, and exhale to heart center. Guiding ourselves through one more energizing flow. First, rooting yourself down, coming back to your breath. Nice smile, letting things go that feel heavy today. Rooting those feet down for one more round of sun salutation, Surya Namaskar. Bringing the hands back to heart center. Inhale, arms up overhead, up to the sky, and exhale, fold at the hips, coming down, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway, flat back. Exhale, walking into plank and coming down slowly towards the earth, chaturanga. Inhale, open up the heart. And exhale, fold back into downward dog. Inhale, lift the left leg. Now kick it over top of the right. So never mind. High lunge. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, hands back to the earth. Left foot back to meet the right. Inhale, right leg is lifted. Exhale, swing it through. High lunge on the other side. Inhale, nice heart opener. Exhale, hands to the earth. Right foot back to meet the left. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, hop or walk back. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up overhead. Hands to prayer and softly guiding them back to the heart. Coming back into mountain, feet are slightly wider apart, creating a stronger foundation. Just listening to the breath, hands and arms beside the body if that feels good for you. Recentering yourself here, hands back to heart center. Coming through one more round. Inhale, arms up overhead, hands to prayer. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands on the shin, flat back. Exhale, coming into chaturanga, down on the exhale. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, fold, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg is lifted, kicking it over top of that right hip, opening up the left side, and then guiding it back to center. And exhale, kick it through between the hands. Standing in high lunge, inhale, open the heart. Exhale, hands to the earth, left foot back to meet the right, other side. Inhale, right leg is lifted, kicking it over top of that left hip, opening up the right side. Then coming back to center on the inhale, and exhale, root it through. High lunge on the other side. Inhale, open that space in the heart. Exhale, hands to the earth. Right foot back to meet the left. Downward facing dog, walking it out here. Walking the dog, pressing one heel to the earth, then the other. Really letting that chest come towards the thighs and then hopping or walking it back into standing forward fold. Staying here, bending the legs is not enough that feels necessary. Perhaps resting the belly onto the thighs and letting those arms hang heavy like a rag doll, or grabbing onto opposite elbows, allowing some extra tension to be released from that upper body. Perhaps nodding the head yes or no to release even extra stress and tension in this area, bringing the blood flow into the upper body, and then bringing the hands onto the shin. Inhale, nice and long, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up overhead, and exhale to heart center. Really allowing yourself to rebalance out those energetic sides, connecting back to our feminine, our moon energy, our slowness, our rejuvenation, our nourishment in our practice. And then bringing that foot back for warrior one, back foot at a 45-degree angle, coming into that mild lunge here, resetting the hips nice and center, raising the arms and opening up the heart, feeling the strength of this warrior one. Inhale and exhale, perhaps rooting down a little. And here, from feeling the strength of warrior one, you can lift that back heel and just rotate a little bit, hinge a little bit forward, even allowing yourself to balance on your toes. And if that feels good for you, lifting those toes up off the earth, coming into warrior three. Arms can be beside you, behind you, or overhead. Feeling that balance here, and then coming back down into warrior one. Guiding that back foot to now be crisscross with the front foot for warrior two. Taking a few inhales and exhales, just rooting down into that lunge, nice and deep. Looking back, making sure rotating that arm is straight up and bringing it up, back, front, behind the head, getting a nice stretch in that side of the body in a reverse lunge. And then guiding that arm back to come forward, warrior two. Now you're going to straighten that front leg to get ourselves set up for triangle. Then hinge forward and reach down, bringing the hand onto the ankle, the calf. And bringing that upper arm up to the sky, nice straight line here, opening up the inner thigh. Try not to use that bottom arm as complete support, allowing it just to be a slight base here. Again, warrior two, then bringing those feet in a little closer together, back at that 45-degree angle, centering the hips nice and open here, warrior one again. Hands down, left foot back to meet the right, downward facing dog. Feeling that dog here, all the weight evenly distributed between the fingers. Chest towards the thighs, flat back, head is hanging. Back legs, heels pressing towards the earth. Maybe one at a time or both. And then inhale, lift that right leg, and exhale, swing it through. Back leg at a 45-degree angle, setting up warrior one on the other side. Arms are up above the head if that feels good for you today. And then lifting that back heel and beginning to hinge a little bit forward at the hips. We're going to guide that balance into our warrior three on the other side. You can leave those toes hovering towards the earth, or you can lift them up. Again, arms overhead or beside you, behind you. Feeling that balance as compared to the other side. Really rooting down and focusing on something not moving will help you to maintain this balance. And then coming into warrior two, our feet are perpendicular. front heel is in line with the back arch. Rooting down with a few breaths here before we rotate that front palm up and lift it up overhead. That back arm is on the back thigh. Reverse warrior, stretching it out on the other side of the body. And then coming from reverse warrior back into warrior two, feeling that strength for breath, and then straightening that front leg, hinging at the hip forward, and bringing that right hand to either the calf, the ankle, bringing that raised arm to the sky, straight line here, not completely using that bottom arm as stability, more for just a little bit of support. And then coming back into warrior two, walking that foot in, coming back to that 45-degree angle, warrior one, heart open, chest is open. And then slowly guiding those arms back down, right foot back to meet the left, downward facing dog. Again, allowing that blood flow just to enter into the upper body here in downward dog, a couple of breaths. Coming back down onto the belly now here in prone postures. Hands pressed under the shoulder blade, legs squeezed together, and then just lift those feet and legs up off of the earth, feeling the strength in the lower back, maybe even kicking them back up and down as if you are swimming in the swimming pool, feeling that connection to those muscles that are being activated in that moment. And then rooting those feet down, now just the upper body being lifted, not using the strength of our arms, allowing them to lift, lifting up the chest, lifting up the heart, strengthening out that mid-back, and then slowly melting back onto the earth, resting a cheek onto the floor before we lift both arms and legs off of the mat. Looking down to the earth, recentering, arms reach long overhead. Inhale, on the exhale, root down into the belly and lift both arms and both legs up off of the mat for Superman. We often forget about all of these beautiful muscles on the backside of our body. Continuing to breathe as you hold and then melting back into it, resting the other cheek onto the earth. And coming into bow, you're going to kick both legs up, grab onto the tops of both of the feet, looking forward or down. Inhale. On the exhale, kick the feet into the hands, coming into almost like a teardrop shape. Really opening up that back, opening up that heart, allowing that space and that energy to flow here, continuing to breathe, not holding the breath. One more inhale and exhale, and then slowly releasing. Pressing yourself into a wide-legged child's pose. Knees about mat width apart, bum melting between the heels. Arms stacked underneath you like a pillow, or perhaps the arms are beside you or above you. And really taking this moment to feel and honor yourself in this resting posture. And slowly making your way here into boat, activating those abdominals. So finding that spot in your sit bones where you can find balance and lifting those lower legs up off of the earth. You can keep holding onto the legs, or you can bring the arms out beside you, feeling that strength as the breath flows in and out. In and out. Again. And then bringing both of the arms over to the left side, activating the obliques as we still hold this boat. And then coming back to center. And then guiding those arms to the other direction, activating the obliques on the other side. And back to center. And then we'll take a few breaths as we come back on the inhale. Exhale, guide it in. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Hug yourself. Bring those knees into the chest. Guide yourself into a comfortable seated posture for a seated twist. Spine is nice and long. You're going to inhale, bring that left hand to the outside of the right knee, right arm behind you or beside you, getting extra length in the spine. Again, inhale is soft, bringing prana into the body. Exhale, press that hand into the outside of the right knee, guiding the twist into the center of the body, and then moving slowly with your breath. With each exhale, your eyes are coming a little closer to the back of the room, activating the twist. And on the inhales, just filling with prana, with oxygen. And then releasing, coming back to center, guiding the twist in the other direction. Now we're bringing that right palm over the left knee. Left hand comes behind or beside us, nice and long. Inhale. On the exhale, press that hand into the outside of the knee, guiding the twist in the center of the body, wringing out those digestive organs in the other direction. Always being mindful of nourishing our spine in all of the directions that it moves. Slowly bringing your eyes towards the back of the room. With each exhale, no need to rush. And then slowly coming back to center and guiding yourself down onto your back. Allowing those feet to come mat width apart. Knees to the sky. We'll do a couple windshield wipers on each side. Allowing both those knees to melt over to the left. Coming back to center and exhale, guiding them over to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. One more time. Holding a breath or two here. Coming back to center. Exhale. Let those knees melt to the right. Hold here for a breath or two. And coming back to center. I'm going to go into bridge here, walking those feet in closer to the butt, arms out beside you, and then pressing the feet into the earth and slowly beginning to lift the bum up off of the mat, using the strength of the bum, the legs. As you start to raise and the shoulder blades lift, you can walk those arms underneath you, interlocking fingers and holding that bridge and that strength as the breath continues to flow. Not holding our breath, not giving ourselves a disservice. And then after holding that bridge, slowly walking those shoulders out and then the spine down one vertebrae at a time. Then we come back to the mat, knees into the chest, giving ourselves a nice hug. Perhaps rocking a little bit from side to side. Coming into Supta Baddha Konasana or reclined bound angle pose, soles of the feet together, legs hang open like butterfly wings. If you need to put a cushion underneath the hips or the upper thighs, feel free to do so, or just taking a few breaths here, feeling the opening yet safetiness and groundedness of this posture. And then slowly from Supta Baddha Konasana, just allowing those legs, after a few breaths, to come out nice and long and wide for Shavasana. Again, the arms can come out beside you, or the one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Feeling so safe, so relaxed, so grounded. Taking a breath into the area of the feet, the legs, activating that root chakra. Guiding a breath into the hips, into the bum, lower belly area. Activating our Svadhisthana chakra, our water element, our flow in life. Guiding one breath into the upper belly and lower rib cage. Activating our fire, our Agni, our light. Guiding that breath into the area of the heart, the upper back, the chest, the lungs. Reminding us to take care of ourselves first. Breathing into the area of the throat. Reminding us to speak our truth. Breathing into the third eye, that intuition. And then breathing into the crown of the head. Feeling that connection to our true soul and our spirit. And then when it feels good, you can begin to rub the palms together for maybe 10 or 20 seconds, allowing them to heat up as you friction them back and forth. And then when you're ready, allowing those hands with the warmth to cup over your eyes as you take a few breaths here, feeling the relaxation, the calmness that brings a little bit further. Can you feel the relaxation in the muscles surrounding the eyes? And then allowing yourselves to remove the hands from the eyes and just wake up the body, some wrist and ankle circles, both directions. And then you might raise those arms up overhead and stretch nice and long like you're waking up first thing in the morning. Bending those legs and then rolling over into the fetal position on either side using the arms as a pillow. Staying here for a few breaths. And then slowly pressing the hand into the earth and guiding your way into seated. Again, any excess flesh away from the sit bones. Long spine, as if the crown of the head is being pulled up towards the clouds. Feeling the beauty and the energy that was created in this practice today. Feeling that clearing out of all of the chakras that we did on the earth. Allowing you to feel all the way from that base chakra all the way to the crown of the head. Cleared it out with a few breaths in each center. And perhaps staying here for a moment longer. Clearing out any areas with your breath and with your intention that might need a little bit more love, a little bit more time. Perhaps it's the area of the heart, looking for a little more love today. Maybe you guide it into the Manipura, or the lower rib cage, upper belly button, reminding you of your strength and your individuality. Maybe it's the hips you're breathing into, reminding you to not be so black and white in life and to let go and go with the flow. Whatever it is, clearing that out and then allowing yourself to take a nice inhale. Feel that energy move from the feet all the way through the crown of the head, and then exhale, guiding that egg shape around the body. Again, inhale, hands to prayer, reaching them up overhead as you fill up, and then exhale, tracing that egg-shaped aura, protecting us throughout our day. Again, one more time, inhale, filling up with breath, allowing that energy to come out of the crown of our head, and then exhale, allow those hands to trace that beautiful shape of our aura, our peripersonal space. Feeling the protection that created today. Allowing us not to absorb the negative energies of others and to continue being a light source, and a seed planter for those who need it. Thank you so much for being here today during this beautiful 25-minute practice that guides some strength, some energy, some movement and flow to help guide you through your day. And may you have the most beautiful and blessed day ever. And may the light and love within me shine and connect to the light and love within you, not only during this moment, but during each moment of each day. And reminding yourself that you always have the light within you to help guide you, even in the darkest and hardest moments. Namaste.